Excuse me. Beautiful.
All right. And let Facebook see us.
Thank you for your patience. Technology.
Guys, it is technology, that's true. There's, haha, we do not have permission to stream. Okay, Sonia, I'll ask you to fill in for me for a minute while I'm checking what's going on with Facebook.
So overall, you're coming into this experience because you're curious or wanting to heal your relationship with money. So just diving into that a little bit more. And if you want to share it in the chat, you can share it in the chat. If you don't want to share it, you can keep that within your own space too. But just feeling into, what are those challenges that you would like to be resolved? It could be something you're experiencing from the past. It could be something you're currently experiencing or something you're perceiving you're going to experience in the future. Where is that? Where do you feel that money healing needs to be done? And just giving yourself the space to bring that forward, because we are already in the container and we're going to open that up even more as we get rolling here. And again, thank you for your patience with this process. Uh, and just bringing that up already says, it's kind of like serving it up. The universe is saying, thank you. I would like this to be healed. I would like this to be complete. I would like this to open, to close, whatever that analogy would be for you. To just allowing yourself to experience that and to ponder on that. Yeah. Any way that you would like money to flow more easily or to grow more easily, right? If you could shift that relationship with money in any way, just sky's the limit, all possibilities available, just opening to that possibility, what could that be? And also putting that into the space as well, right? Because we don't only want to clean up, but we want to create. So really giving the space, and we'll be doing that in the Sunday workshop as well. We're going to be doing the healing, the cleaning work, as well as the opening and expanding into that next potential. So just giving a little primer on that, but we can do that right now just by your thoughts, by bringing that into this collective common space. We are exponential. Even though Vika and I are hosting this, each one of you is bringing your energy into this space too. And even if you don't say anything, even if you don't have your camera on, your energy is here with us. And your voice, even if it's silent, even if it's within your thought field, it is in this space too. So that can be answered. Your answers could come through for you too. Welcome, Marcella. Beautiful. So just opening up to this space of possibilities for that healing, that cleaning, that clearing, and that expansion as well. Right? Can you feel the fullness of that? There's an integrity that comes just as we entertain the duality, right? Both sides of this. And how are we doing, Vika? Are we managing to get there? Hopefully,
We're
hopefully we'll be
almost there. We're almost there.
okay. Beautiful, beautiful. So is there let's see if there's anybody wanting to put it into chat. Okay, beautiful. Somebody is putting in, so let's just see what that is. Successfully manage long-term wealth management and growth for myself and my family now and for prosperity. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, yes, I second that. I think everybody in the room could get on board with that. And I'm not speaking for everybody in the room, but I think everybody could get on board with that. And yes,
Ah,
and I can make money in fun, nourishing, easeful ways, doing things I love. Yes, absolutely. And we'll get into that. The truth of money. Yes, this is very aligned with the truth of money in its purest form. Have deeply embody abundance, especially monetary, at all levels, moving away from relationship with money from survival to higher dimensions. Yes, to the playground of money. Who wouldn't like to be in the playground of money? And I'm going to tell you, um, I have done a lot of work with money from the physical to the metaphysical. And at the metaphysical level, at that purest form of money, have you seen the movie Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Has everybody seen that movie, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? It's an old one, going back many years now, but it was an amazing chocolate factory with candy, with chocolate rivers and candy trees, and it was the candy land of candy and chocolate. Well, this is what money at the divine level looks like, except instead of chocolate, it's gold and silver and gems, diamonds, rubies, emerald, trees, the money trees. Yes, nature is abundance. Nature connects us into this abundance very easily. Yes, I love chocolate. Exactly. Chocolate and money, I think, are good friends as well as chocolate is love. Uh, this is, and you got to look at, what do we do with money, besides the survival stuff, right? Besides the taking care of our basic needs, we do the things we love with money, right? So this is money. This is true, pure money. It's about love. It's about having a beautiful relationship. And mankind, um, individually, collectively, has a bit got this mucked up. And that's what we're here to make a difference in. Yeah.
All right, we are in. So thank you for this, Sonia. I appreciate it so much. I think you guys got a lot from that, right? And we are officially on speaking about healing your money relationships. And what Sonia just shared about abundance, I'm going to confirm that's absolutely 100%, 1000% true. And what I'm bringing to this is the ancestral layer to this work, right? Everything that we inherited. And when we talk about ancestors, we're talking, of course, about our family members and more and beyond. It's all the events, the big events that happen. It's the political regime, it's the immigration, it's the genocide, it's all those big things, including the natural elements. So going deeper and deeper, more and more, expanding and expanding from that. So, first of all, let us introduce ourselves. I'm Vika Dityan. I'm working with ancestral healing. I focus on the family constellation modality, and that's how I bring in forward what we carry with us from the collective, from our families, and from the universal archetypes. Sonia, if you would like to introduce yourself, please.
So, yes, I'm Sonia Nagy, and I've been doing money professionally from the womb. My father was an accountant. Now, yes, I didn't, although I did learn to balance the checkbook at 8 years old. At 18 years old, I became a tax accountant, have filed over 10,000 tax returns, have worked with multiple businesses over a 27-year career, had a very full, tangible experience with money personally and professionally. And I knew there was more than this tangible level. And I was seeking the spiritual aspect, which took me into health, wellness, and spirituality. So I work with the divine aspect of money. I work in a very different way with money than most. I don't necessarily do the spreadsheets and the tax returns anymore. The reconciliations, although I understand that and can go there in conversation, it is not where I choose to bring the work. I choose to bring the work at this very deep, I feel very tangible level of soul and body and physical, and bringing this bridge together. I work with crystals. They are the mineral, um, the rubies, the diamonds, the emeralds, and the whole mineral kingdom of crystals that also support me in the work that we do with money and with my clients, as well as that may come into our Sunday call. And I'll just let you know right now, the crystal that is asking to come in right now for us all is the crystal kyanite. And there's three different kyanites that will come and support us. The first one is a black kyanite. It helps clear the mental body, helps clear the thought. So any of the thoughts around money that are not beneficial, we can ask the black kyanite to help us clean that up. And then blue kyanite helps the nervous system, helps the energy centers all come into alignment and balance. And then the green kyanite is the bridge. So I know before we started, people were putting into the chat what their greater vision, what that expansion of money relationship would be like. We can ask the green kyanite to be the bridge that connects us. So that's a little bit about me, and very practical, but also very esoteric. So bringing that full relationship. I am all about the integrity of money and money autonomy for us all.
Yes, thank you so much, Sonia. I hope you're really tuning into this conversation through your body. Like as Sonia was speaking, I can feel expansion in my chest. Like there's this energies, this frequencies that she's bringing. They're very felt. They're very somatically felt. But of course, this is a two-way journey, right? The more consciousness you bring into this space, the more focus you dedicate to this, the more you're going to be able to receive. And the way we speak is actually a multi-layered way, the multi-dimensional way. So when we speak, we already work together. We were in a container for a year together. We met in person in Reno this summer when we got to experience each other in person. And that's when we connected. So when Sonia speaks, I feel it. When I speak, I hope Sonia feels that too. Right. So that's that layer, that's what we're sharing with. We are connected through our soul to soul connection, and beyond that, through our ancestral connection. So when we speak, it's two ancestors speaking, it's two lineages speaking. Sometimes we joke around about that. Oh, your father is saying this. Oh, I'm seeing this image that's supporting us. We're really feeling the presence of our ancestry in this conversation. And this is an open invitation to you too. If you were feeling like opening up to acknowledging your connection to your ancestry, right? Acknowledging that you were born out of mother and father, and each of them were born out of mother and father, and that the life force going forward through you, and that you are connected to those who came before you. This is a great time to do that. This is a great time to bring awareness to that. And just let us know in the chat, how does it feel? If that's something you resonate with, if that's something that you're willing to acknowledge, if that feels easy to connect to, or you're feeling difficulty and maybe resistance, like, I don't really want to think about it. I don't really want this. There was a lot of troubles in my family. I'm not sure how you feel about it, how safe I feel connecting to that, how safe my body feels connecting to that. So, yeah, I see the messages coming in. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, and just breathe, having a nice deep breath and relax into it, right? You're already connected to your lineage. You're already connected to money because we're in relationship with this, right? In our own blood, in our own body, in our daily life. This is why money is kind of a sneaky one. People don't really see it as a relationship. However, we have feelings about it, we have thoughts about it, and we have a lot of engagement with it. So I'm going to say absolutely yes, money is a relationship. And hopefully this can help you expand your awareness too and say, you know what? Maybe how I feel about money and how I think about money has an impact on my relationship there. And maybe my ancestors, the way my mother and my father and my grandparents and their money experience could also be affecting my relationship with money. And it's just opening that possibility. This is what we're going to be doing on Sunday, is really opening this at a very deep level, much deeper than we're going here today. We've invited it, we've opened up the space for it, but we're going very deep into it on Sunday. And we're going to ask for that deep cleaning, that deep clearing, and reorganizing into this greater experience with money that I believe we're all in this for, right? We all are looking for, whether that's cleaned up, whether that's spending, savings, earnings, gifting, however that is for you, we're looking for that transformation. And that's very much going to come through on Sunday. We've already had a lot of evidence of that in the preparation of this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm reading the comment from Jael. She's saying, I have been having conversation with money since we had a session with Vika. Hi, Jael. Nice to see you. Awesome to have you here. And of course, for those who just seeing us for the first time, like I have no idea what you're talking about. What's Sunday? What's happening? Hey guys, here's the link. So go to chat, check it out. This is what's happening on Sunday. This is what we're inviting you to. And just to let you know what else is coming with it, and we're going to continue with this. We're going to continue this conversation about money and mother, and we're going to specifically talk about this pattern. But I also want to let you know that what we're offering right now is unique. We only have plans right now to run it once live. We each have our separate practices, but we coming together for the holiday season because it's where family and money patterns feel the most alive, most activated, right? We aren't entering this family gathering for Thanksgiving Day. Maybe you celebrate it, maybe you're not. Probably you're going to be gathering with your family during the holidays. And if you're not, that may bring a separate pain within the system, right? So, what we're doing is the healing that will be felt in the body regardless of whether your parents are alive, whether you're connected with your family or not. We are clearing that all. We all have ancestry. We all have family. We all have family patterns. We all inherited it. And we really want to take in the love and leave the burdens. That's what the healing is about. It's not about cutting the cords or staying far away from those you don't want to be connected. It's about coming into the new day without judgment, without regret, without guilt, um, with love. And we'll go deep with real intention to make a huge difference for you through just one workshop. And on top of that, because it's a holiday season, because it's a gifting season, we already discounted the price for this workshop really, really deep. And we're going to give you a gift. We're going to give you a one-on-one time with each one of us. And honestly, we don't actually do the one-on-ones, one-off sessions anymore. That's no longer what we offer. You cannot go to a website and just buy it. But if we did it, it would be about $600 each. And we are gifting it to you. If you come into this workshop, you'll get a one-on-one with Sonia. You'll get a one-on-one with me after the workshop is complete. And this is your opportunity to have that for just $97. Like we really did it. Like if this is not accessible, I don't know what is, right? So this is our gift to our communities. This is us coming into the 2025 saying, let's end this year so grounded, so deeply safe in our bodies that we start the next year from aligned decisions, from soul life, from abundance. This is us embodying this abundance and having, we have enough to give, to share, that you get to spend that time in the container of people who are dedicated to this work with ancestry aligned, with the support of the crystals, and you get the one-on-one attention. So I hope you're loving it. Please let us know. Please give us the heart if that feels like yes, that would be great. Thank you. I see some of those reactions. I appreciate you guys.
thank you, thank you. Yes, and I want to dive in a little bit more. We come together. I just want to say when Vika and I met each other in a workshop, actually, we didn't meet in the workshop. We were in a workshop together and it was similar to this one, but a whole lot more people there. And we each spoke individually at times during this 3-day workshop. And I knew when Vika spoke, there was something, there was a connection there. I do believe this is our fathers have brought us together. And there was the knowingness at that hello. And that was at the beginning of that 1-year container of being together. And we have been through the trenches of growing. That was a business seminar. So we've learned a lot about business together. And we both, as she said, we're creating our own practices. And when we came together live, the energy was so potent and so intense. We knew that we needed to bring this forward, and the healing that is available, the clearing that is available, there's the whole ancestry field is with us to support us, as well as the divine aspect of money. And I do believe we are globally going through some massive money reorganization. And I believe we are at the forefront of that. The ones who will come in and do this kind of work are the ones that are creating the new money relationship, the new money that is going to be going forward. Now, who knows? It's going to take a little bit of time for the rest of the world to catch up, but I think you all know where the world is in more turmoil now than ever. It's more exposed than it has ever been before, and we're ready to get to the other side of it. And this is our intention of doing this work. Why we're doing it at such a low rate is because we wanted to make it available to as many as possible. So come in, bring your friends. Like it is well worth the investment. We already got healing going on. It's happening for us. It's happening for those who've already signed up. Thank you for the comments on that. And Vika, I would love it if you we talked about a post that you put up about money, mother, and life. So will you give us a little bit on that, and then I'll bring us home on that.
Absolutely. I just want to mention that you just start speaking and hearing Armenian music behind me. It's those drums and those masculine voices. That's my ancestry. That's my dad. He's from Armenia. He's the Highlander. And I'm really, really like feeling it. This celebration is like, yes, bring it on, share it with people. So I appreciate it so much. Yes, the post that I recently posted on my Facebook, and I said, money, mother, and life are the same energy. And it's very interesting to feel into, just an invitation to feel into this. Money, mother, and life are the same energy. Sit with it, because the teaching is it's not what we tell you, what feels true in your body. That's your true, right? That's what we're coming into. And I post that sometimes every few months. And every time there's very contradictory comments that come in, and somebody says, absolutely 100% true. That's exactly what it is. And somebody will say like, I'm not sure. Actually, I have great relationship with my mother, but money, not so much. That's a great conversation to have. And more than conversation, it's the way we subconsciously relate. And I want to share just a couple patterns with you. For example, the way life force goes forward, right? You have your parents, they have their parents, they have their parents. And the way it flows, it's like a river. It's moving forward. It has a direction, right? The love, the life has a direction. It moves forward. That's why we subconsciously, on a soul level, always wish the best for our children. But the human relationship may be more difficult, may be more complicated than that. I invite you to really feel into if you have good relationship with your mom, is that relationship of an equal to equal? Is that relationship when you are loving her so much, you want to protect her? Because your mom, as much as you love her, not equal to you. She's bigger than you. She gave you life. And they're orders of love, and they're orders of life. And I think all of us should know and should really notice how they express themselves in life. That the bigger ones give and the little ones receive. When somebody gives you a gift, you subconsciously want to return a favor, right? You want to give back. And if you love them, you want to give them a little more. And that's how we expand our relationship. That's how we expand our friendship. That's how we expand our partnerships. You give me, I'm out of gratitude, want to give you, and I give you a little more, and you give me a little more back. And that's how we continue, right? That's when relationship grows and expands and it becomes long-term, lifelong friendships. Your mother gave you a gift of life. what can you possibly give her back to be of equal value? There's nothing. There's nothing that will be equal to the gift of life. And that's why it's not relationship of equals. It's relationship of the bigger one to the little one. When you're stepping into the pattern of, I'm protecting her, I want to, let's say she's going through depression or sadness. Maybe it's not expressed as depression. Let's say she's going through addiction. And your full energy into, I'm going to protect you. I'm going to try to save you. You're no longer her child. You're becoming her mother or her father. Now you're going against that flow, against that river. You're sacrificing yourself to help her, to save her. So you become, in a money relationship, you become very comfortable giving money, spending money on others, but not receiving. Because receiving means dangerous to you now. Your body perceives receiving as danger. It's not safe. It's not safe to receive because I have to take care. And notice if in your life it expresses itself that you're lending money to somebody you know will not return it to you. You are constantly trying to fix somebody. You're surrounded by people who need saving in some way. This person is just constantly in conflict, and you pouring your energy into them. It's just dark hole. It's never hands. And if they are going away from your life, somebody else comes in that constantly needs saving, constantly needs your protection. You constantly feel like if you let go, if you stop holding it all together, it will all break. It will all fall apart. Women may often experience that pattern, right? That means you are not the child of your mother. You are the parent of your mother. And that's in violation of the order of life. And that's why your money flow may be limited. That's one of the examples. Another example may be you're a friend of your mother. You look like your girlfriends, or you just feel like you equally have great relationship. But that means you're no longer have a mother. You have a friend, but you don't have the mother subconsciously anymore. So you may constantly feel not enough. I'm not good enough. You may be drowning in self-doubt. You may make decisions. You know what needs to be done. You know what you want, but you don't actually complete it. Like, you know, you want to grow your business, but you don't do anything about it. You know, you want to buy a house, but you don't finance it. You know, you need to invest into the software to expand your possibilities, but you don't do it. You're scared. You doubt yourself. You look there for advice. You look on the other side for advice. And it's this patterns constantly. It's everywhere in the way you spend money, in the way you expand your relationships. It's just repeating and repeating. When we have these incomplete cycles, what this family system does, it puts us in those situations in our life that are opportunities for a different outcome. Without going through healing, we just repeat the same mistakes over and over. And you might have already noticed in your life how you thought you learned that lesson, but nope, same mistake. Now doing in a different situation with a different person, in a different scenario, in a different work case, but it's the same thing. And you're realizing it over time, right? We don't know it in 20s, but in our 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, we're like, yeah, I've done that already. Why didn't I learn? And then we start shaming ourselves. Why didn't I learn that? I should have learned that already by now. Because we're in the same pattern. And we are not looking at it as the pattern. We're looking at it as separate events, but they are not separate. This is the system, the life force working through us and saying, hey, this is incomplete. This is not healed yet. This is an opportunity for you. Say it, choose differently, do differently. But how, right? It feels like it's over us. It's consuming. When we start looking into the truth of the pattern, into the truth of this inherited dynamic, with love, without judgment, with opening ourselves to, I receive it as is, then our system relaxes, our body relaxes, and we now have a chance to choose differently. Sonia, I'm gonna pause here so you have a option, get a chance to expand on that.
Yes, everything she said. And let's take that into life and money even more, right? We go out and we have these experiences with money, and there's a variety we could go into. There's, how was money presented to you as a child? There could be the beliefs of it's dirty. There's the beliefs of, if they're rich, they're bad, or maybe it's not so spiritual to have money. There's a lot of toxic beliefs that are in society. They're in the family. They're in cultures. I've seen this very deep in some cultures where they're very poverty stricken. We could see in India, we see a lot of that, the caste society, where they're not seeing all life as equal and valid and valuable, that one would be more than another. This is affecting the collective relationship of money. The debt slave system, living paycheck to paycheck. We have lived in a toxic money system collectively. And this is what needs to reorganize. Currently our dollar is a fiat dollar. It's a monopoly dollar. It is not backed by tangibility. That may be shifting, right? It may be shifting. It's an agreement, it's a number somewhere, but it's not backed by something physical, right? We used to have a gold backed dollar, right? We used to have the silver certificate. That may be coming back around again. And so we have a lot of cleaning up collectively around the energy of money and really letting it be valid and valuable, and how money is used for the greater good instead of toxic, and some things quite horrific, how money has been used. So this is, and these patterns are in the field of money, whether you've how deeply you've experienced that or not. Um, and I'm sure there's somewhere, some, even if it's the smallest thing, like you bought something and then never used it, you never valued that, so you put into that space of money, I don't value money because I bought something and then never used it. Like, who's done that? I've done that. And this is what we're doing, is we're saying we're cleaning up this full relationship with money so that it's a pure relationship again, so that money can flow like life, and it can flow like that river downstream, where it nurtures and nourishes everyone. And those that are willing to show up and serve more, and provide more, they're going to have more money in their pool to work with, right? Bringing, that's how money works. Service and providing, money grows. That's the nature of how money flows also. So really, cleaning up this collective energy around money, and there's a lot of people have investments that they're incongruent with, and so they can lose that, and things like that happen, and it's for you to wake up and reorganize and flow with life, with abundance. Abundance is our nature. Prosperity is our nature, but many of us have not got to experience that. And this is what we're here to reorganize and say, no, we're doing money differently. We're playing with full integrity. We're playing in a way that gives more life to all. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonia. So beautiful. By the way, Sonia has this sacred wealth and abundance meditation, the 7 minute thing. If you want to get that, let us know. She can give you the link. I just did it this morning before the workshop. It's like felt this grounded, it's really rooted, connected to the womb of the Mother Earth. Thank you so much. And if you want to get on my list, and if you're not there yet, just send us your email. You can do it privately, so it's not visible, and we'll add you. So you'll get the golden nuggets from Sonia, and you'll get the ancestral wisdom from me. So please take advantage of everything that's available to you right now. I'm just going to go into the questions. And somebody said I didn't sign up because I cannot make it live. Will there be a recording? Yes. So there are two options you can get. I'm gonna put the link in just for those who maybe join us a little later about the workshop that's happening on Sunday. If you cannot make it live, there's two options you can buy into this. Option number one for $97 gives you a week access to the recording. So that's included. You'll have it for a week. Option number two, it's $47 extra, and it will give you lifetime access to the recording. We were just discussing and before the call and when speaking, it's for $147, you get lifetime access that you can actually give to your people, right? It's an amazing opportunity to say, I experienced this healing. I felt it in my body. You can have it too, right? So please share. This is what we're here for, right? This abundance that Sonia was just speaking about. It is our birthright. We were born into abundance. We are not here to limit you, do this or do that, and extra $5 for this and extra $5 for that. It's going to be like extra. That's not how we do. We want to embody, we want to share, we want this healing to be available to everyone. So if you know someone who says, no, $100 is too much for me to invest in that, give it to them. Give it to them as a Christmas present. Share it with their families. Let their people experience it. Let your community experience it. It's really what we're here for. What else? There was another question I think I missed. Somebody asked about the money and mother pattern and what do I do about it? So that's exactly what we're going to do in the workshop. Come into the workshop. That's what we're going to be healing, right? So right now we're kind of bringing awareness into this connection between the mother and the money patterns. During the workshop, we will actually dive into the work. We will hold space for you to see the truth of your family inheritance. To see means to get a new perspective. And the truth is what heals. It's not us. It's your awareness of the deeper truth that's stored within your body. It's coming like this gnosis, right? You already know it on a somatic level. You just didn't have the words for it. You just didn't have the awareness of it because that's not how we were raised. That's not how we were trained, right? Nobody told you that at school. Maybe you're hearing it for the first time ever, that those are connected. Maybe you didn't connect the pattern of receiving to the pattern of getting paid or asking for more from your boss or in your business. But now that you're aware of it, you have the opportunity to acknowledge it and change it. Because what we're bringing it to is your choice, that radical responsibility for what's happening in your life, an ability, responsibility to make a different choice. That's what we're here for.
And awareness is the first key. And we're going into very deep awareness on Sunday. We're bringing you awareness here in this conversation now. We're going to go into a much deeper level of awareness that is very felt in the body, beyond the mind, it's beyond the emotion. It's a felt sense of clearing. And when we go there, we clear the nervous system. We clear those patterns at a very, very deep level. And then the integration naturally happens. We heal by nature. We don't, we get cut, it heals. We heal by nature. You're naturally healing. It's the awareness, it's those patterns and those programs that stay stuck, that cause the irritation, that stops the healing, that expands the wound. What we're doing is saying we're going into that clearing, to that cleaning, so that the wound, that truth, can be revealed, and it literally, it can shed right off. Those wounds can shed just like it does on when you cut your finger, gets that little scab, and that little scab naturally peels off, and then you've got this beautiful layer of skin underneath of that. We all have this depth of truth within us, whether we consciously know that or not, right? And yes, we can get very lost in the mental body and very lost in the emotional body. People can live lifetimes there lost. And we're saying we're bringing all of this together, clearing and cleaning this. And there may be more, we'd like to have a clean sweep on Sunday and say, we're done, yay. But you know what? there's going to be more because you're going to continue. You're going to have another feeling. You're going to have another money experience. You could potentially have another mother experience, even if it's you witnessing another mother. We will continue to have life. So you may do even more work, but the awareness is that first step that helps that truth to pour through. And this is really, we're opening this and giving you a pathway. And that's why we're gifting you these additional one-on-one sessions with each of us, is to continue to clear, clean, open up, expand that relationship for you.
Yes, thank you so much. All right, so we talked for like 15 minutes. God, I don't know where time went. So let's move to the questions. We would love to hear from you. What resonated? What questions you have? I see two hands. Caroline, I see that you signed up for the workshop. We're excited to see you. So please tell us, what's your question?
Oh, thank you. Well, I think we're going to answer it in the workshop. When you said money, mother, and life have the same energy, I was immediately terrified because I had a very difficult relationship with my mother, and I was never able to be close to her, and she attacked both me and my brothers on an ongoing basis. She was brilliant, beautiful, accomplished, and nuts. I mean, said that in the chat because it's true. She was on the world stage with women's rights and human rights and other things, and was an author and a university professor and a lot of things. And she and my father also had a business before I was born and when I was very little, a design and manufacturing mid-century modern furniture business that had some very successful designs, and it financially failed because their best designs were taken by major manufacturers and they went out of business. So I have a lot of trauma around this. And my question, and I always expected to be wealthy and never was. And I'm in a really difficult situation now that I have to create income. So I need to clear whatever it is that's interfering with me being successful. I've started selling my signature glass work for thousands of dollars per piece, but that was last summer, and I need to do something that really works. So
Beautiful. So let's all just take a breath. And thank you, Caroline, for bringing your vulnerability and your willingness to share. And that begins healing right there. So thank you. Thank you for voicing it. Thank you for clearing the air. And we can ask that the element of air in our black kyanite come in and clean the air again for everyone here, and really open up to the feeling, the deeper awareness that this healing is possible. And that need, that desire that you're putting forward right now is also heard by the healing field, by the clearing field. I'd like to even change this word of healing to clearing, to clear away so that all of that that's in your past can reorganize itself and flow forward. Because if we could bring it back to the analogy of the river of life, right? These wounds are going upstream, not downstream. And that's probably the most simplification that we could bring to it. But we're just turning that boat around, all of those boats around, and getting them to flow downstream, opening up to the greater possibility. That's the simplification. We will be going deeper into this on Sunday. And if you got the 97 and you want to upgrade to the lifetime recording, that option will be available Sunday. We'll make sure that option is available, because this work will be, you'll be able to come back into this recording again and again and again and get another level of healing, another level of clearing. And at the point that you would listen to the recording and not receive a benefit, that's the time to dive back in again. And you could dive back in sooner and do this work at a more rapid pace by working with us individually, right? Coming into these containers in the live aspect, because each time we come, we bring our current live state to the container, and what is ready to heal will heal. That's the natural order of life. what is in top priority is what heals, right? So if your heart is aching and your knee is aching, your heart is a bigger priority, healing energy will go to your heart before it's going to go to your knee, for example. So your request for bigger money in your experience is causing a lot of what may feel like eruption in your life, which is beautiful because it's coming to get out of you to flow in that right direction. So I hope this answered your question. Does that feel complete for you, Caroline?
Thank you. That really, because there's so many aspects of money flow that need to be addressed, and it seems like everything is coming up now. Grief over my husband's death 5 years ago, and all of this, and grief over money seems to be all part of it as well.
You're in the middle of the volcano, and I
Yep.
honor you. I honor you for your process, and your things are happening. I want you to know that even though it feels like a whole lot is there, that's beautiful because a whole lot of movement is happening simultaneous.
Thank you. Thank you for holding the space for us to deal with these things. So necessary. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Caroline. I want to add also to this that that feeling that you expressed of being terrified, the way we open up and hold this container is we first bring safety. And the safety is we are not going where you're not ready to go. Right? So we're looking, we're expanding, we help you breathe through this, experience this somatic safety through it. This is number one thing, that you are feeling safe in this. And that's what we're holding it for. That's why we're doing the breathing work. That's why we're doing the authentic relating work. Because when you go back into that scenario that brought terror into your system, you need extra support for it. You need to be sure that you are safe. Otherwise, you simply re-traumatize yourself. It's one of the reasons why you can't go there by yourself, right? You need the support. And this we bring, Sonia just shared with you the support of the crystals. Like as soon as you felt this frequency of the crystals, it's a different story, right? Your body open up. You're able to go into that with less, this is terrifying. And from the perspective of ancestors, right? Not for all of us, healing relationship with money and mother means getting closer to the mother. Sometimes it means creating the safe distance from the mother, right? It's that level. Sometimes when I say, you stay there and I'm here. And from here, I can open up to more. From here, I can start healing. And this path, right? We always talk about the healing path, the healing journey, because it's not the destination. It's not where we come into a place and say, okay, now this is done. It's the opening up to receiving, saying, I'm feeling safe, or feeling a little more safe. I'm feeling a little more grounded. I can receive a little more. Oh, I can now go back into that situation and actually notice what was impacting her in that situation, right? Because happy people don't traumatize other people. They don't hurt other people. It's hurt people who hurt people, right? So it's that compassion to looking from a new perspective, looking from and feeling, right? It's a lot about feeling that situation from her perspective, from what she received from her parents, from the burden that was passed on to her, but first coming to the safety of me. That's the somatic awareness that we're offering to go through in this workshop. So when I'm safe, then I can shift my perspective. But if my body feels in terror when I just think about it, you cannot go further, right? We're not going to go there. So first receiving that, receiving the support, acknowledging what support is available, and working in the container of group of people who are vulnerably sharing their stories, then on its own creates the level of synergy, creates the level of openness that allows us all to go deeper, that allows us to heal the wounds that we cannot heal by ourselves. Because we are so deeply, so profoundly interconnected. And we experience it more and more in our life. We are noticing that more and more. So that's a little bit of addition. I hope that served, that help. And thank you so much for being so open, so vulnerable, so available to this work. I'm very much looking forward to stepping into the field with you on Sunday. Thank you,
Yes,
Karen.
and a huge rose quartz dragon is coming in for us to support this sensitive field that we're all working in together. So just think of the power of a dragon and the power of the earth and rose quartz. And it's about the most tender, most sweet love that you could find in the crystal world. Just allowing yourself to soak a little bit of rose quartz in as well. And we'll move into our next question. Katya.
I'll just say I love rose quartz. As soon as you read it, oh, I love that. And then the playful energy of the dragon. Yeah. Hi, Katya.
Hi, everyone. I was wondering, when somebody is experiencing issues with money, they could ask themselves, well, is this a mother wound? Is this a father wound? Or is this a communion wound? Or is it all of that? Vika, you and I, we have done ancestral alchemy training together. And in that training, you present this 3-step soul movement from mother to father and into the world. And given this model, somebody could argue, well, the father is the one who is the financial provider in the family predominantly. So a money issue must be in the realm of father wounding. And then there is also the possibility to argue, well, when I am unable to step into a career that generates financial abundance, that generates financial wealth, then something must be wrong with that 3rd step in the soul movement, because I can't seem to be making this step into the world successfully. So I was curious to lead our conversation there and to explore what might be true in regards to father wound and communion wound, because so far I hear you say that issues with money are related to the mother, because you reiterated today that mother, money, and life are the same energy. But is there truth to these other 2 steps as well?
Yeah. So good to see you, Katya. Thank you for showing up. And yeah, we did the ancestral alchemy work before. And what Katya is referring to is these stages of development in physical life and in the spiritual life of a human. When one is born into the family, the first person, of course, we interact with is the mother, right? We're born through the mother, we interact with the mother, and this initial safety that comes into the body from healthy attachment with the mother, right? And when the attachment is not healthy, when mother is unavailable, when there's any kind of violations in that bond, when the bond didn't actually happen, then the first thing that shows up in a child's development, I feel unsafe. The world is unsafe, and I need to come up with a strategy to deal with it, with this lack of safety. The next moment goes from the mother to the father, and there's a permission to go into that field. I don't want to go into too many details. There's the whole separate video. If you want to go to YouTube, there's actually a video dedicated to this specific movement from birth to mom, from mom to dad, from dad to the world. And that's something you can practice on your own. You're welcome to do that. It's a very powerful, potent practice to do. To answer the question, is it just about the mother? Well, no, of course not. Of course, you come from mom and dad. Of course, there's some kind of limits in between both. If we say mom is our access to safety, to abundance, it's nourishing energy. That's why that's what we mean by mother, money, and life. Is the same energy, is the energy that gives and gives and gives. It nourishes you. Like food, it nourishes you like every day through every moment. And when you lean into that energy, you feel the infinite nature of that energy. It's like Mother Earth, right? We don't say Father Earth, we say Mother Earth because Mother Earth is constantly giving, it's growing, it's giving you fruits, it's just nonstop kind of giving energy. But of course, when we talk about career, there's masculine features. Everything that's masculine in our body comes through the father, regardless of what role your father played in your life, regardless if he was alive when you were born. The masculine traits, such as ability to make decisions and follow through on them, ability to set boundaries and say no to things. But imagine you receive that feminine energy. Feminine energy is feeling into everything, trying to help everyone, right? It's feeling like spread life consciousness. But you don't have ability to say no. Like imagine that. So all of a sudden you're trying to help this person and trying to help that person, and they don't pay you. That's okay. No, don't worry about it. I'm just going to do it for you for free. That's what this balance of masculine, feminine creates. So of course we need the structure, we need the support of that. When feminine energy is overflowing and we don't have those flexible, organic, not restricting, but organic structure of the masculine, we just spread ourselves too thin. It's like ADHD thing. I want this thing and I want this thing and I want this thing and I want all at once, and I want to be happy and I want to be safe and I want right and I want money, but I want to do all that I want to do and I want to spend time with my kids. It's like it's going crazy. It's this chaos of life that's happening. When we having the relationship with the masculine, when we receive our father, we take the father into the heart, it's all of a sudden we are able to take a shape. Our business is able to focus. It's like growing the tree, right? We plant the seed and this beautiful green thing is coming up from the ground, right? And we're building our trunk. It has the shape, and then we have the leaves and we have the fruit. And now this fruit is easy to consume, right? So you're still giving life, you're still helping others, but it's now in this beautiful peach. And you can take this peach and eat it, and you're grateful for it. And grateful means you give them money, right? In our finance-based world, you give money as a reward. So you build some practices. Katya mentioned this. You meant to build that practice. You meant to share your gifts with the world. But having this access to the masculine makes that available, consumable for people. You're no longer this wind that goes around and blows any direction. You're this fruit that's easy and very pleasant to eat and be rejuvenated by, right? I hope this analogy makes sense. Sonia, if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah, just the structure. Yes, I just want to capitalize on that's what that masculine does. It helps us take the action. It helps us draw the line, right? It helps us have the structure. So, and there is a balance between this relationship of masculine and feminine, of rest, inhale, exhale, rest, action, right? We all have both of this masculine, feminine pattern within us, and our mother and father and our relationships with them, how we feel. There's many layers. When we get into money, there's your relationship with yourself, your relationship with money, and your relationship with the world. That can have, any one of those can have an impact. So this is broadening it out from the container of ancestral healing, but what work I've done with money, those are the three relationships that we look at to go deeper. And within that are those relationships of mother, father, and they literally live inside of our body. So that's why we do the somatic work. That's why we go in. That's why we feel into the shift. When we feel it, we heal it is a classic phrase used in the healing world. When we feel it and allow, and that's part of it, is we don't like to feel the things that are uncomfortable. We avoid that. We classically learn, don't touch the fire, it's hot. So we run away from anything that doesn't feel good. Well, I'm going to tell you, this is the path through the healing. That is through the ring of fire, as they say. That is the phoenix rising, is you have to feel the stuff that you were probably not able to feel. It may have been too much at that time, but to feel it is to heal it and to move through it. And we can do it very quickly. We don't even have to consciously understand what is going on. It is a felt sense that shifts it. The nervous system gets it, the body relaxes, the body opens up, we begin to flow again. But we need that balance of the structure, with a balance of, the inhale and the exhale. We need them both. We need the masculine, we need the feminine, we need them both. And they're both within all of us.
Thank you, Sonia. Katya, does it feel complete to your question?
Wouldn't say it feels complete, but it's a conversation start.
Yes, maybe there's more the correct question. Does it feel like it's something alive in you that we can continue this conversation, maybe going deeper? Are you joining us for the workshop?
I'm not sure yet because the timing is very tricky for me that day.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, there's an opportunity to get the recording if you want to feel into that. I also dropped a link for you to go into the YouTube channel, and there's the conversation may continue there as I recorded the video about that soul movement and how to practice that. So thank you for asking and bringing awareness to that. Appreciate it.
I just want to add one more piece onto that. If you join the container at any time before Sunday, you will that you are in that container, even if you are physically not there. You are entered the field when you make the commitment, when you push that button and send it through. You are in the container, whether you physically show up or not. Right? You're in that. You can have a healing just for registering and never even listening to the recording, because we, out of integrity, put you in that field because the threshold was making that commitment. Right?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. That is how energy works, right? The time is the concept of the mind. When the energy works, it works through time. So the healing works through generations, forward and backwards, and that's a beautiful part of it. It's amazing and hard to imagine with the hard to understand with the mind, but very experienced by the body how it works. Thank you for that. Joelle, I can see your hand. Welcome, woman.
Wow. Well, first of all, ladies, this is so much, so much, and so much gratitude. And lately, I have a tendency to not be able to talk because I start crying, but I guess it's a lot of release. I had so many clicks just listening to you. And one is that, like my mother was making a lot of money and she was this, famous like fashion designer in the jet set over the world. And I'm kind of the opposite. I saw that it jumps her generation. Like her mother never worked and was helped and lost her husband who spent all the money in the family. So there's a lot of contrast. And if I look into my father's family, there's so many contrasts, and that's one part of the story. The other part of the story, because my mother wasn't there, not even at birth because she was under anesthesia. So my mother in my life was Mother Nature. That was my mother. And I work with pregnant women and women in general and the womb and the five elements. And it's all about that connection. And I feel like, and my mother was like the kind of person that would throw up because I was breastfeeding. So So I want to reconcile those two things. That's one part. And then the other click was the father, the structure. I feel like really like the structure to get some business going, because like Vika was saying, is like most of the pregnant women, oh, I don't have the money to have a doula. I'm like, oh, don't worry, you need to have a doula. I'll do it for free. And then, I want to reconcile, that's the big word for me today, all these pieces, so it becomes a tapestry and not either or. It's like, I mean, with nature, so there's no money. No, that's not true. So reconciliation is my intention, and I'm very grateful, and I feel like it's a huge, there's so many aspects of the same thing, but it's so many aspects, and clicks. And I did sign up, even though I don't have the money for it, but I feel like this is opening, taking me into the next step, which is the missing piece.
Thank you so much for sharing, Jael. Sonia, I'm going to give this to you. I know I worked with Jael before, and I would love to hear what you could offer to this.
So first, I love the reconcile. And yes, we come into the world, we come into the life experience, not for all harmony and bliss or it all to be great. We come for the dualistic experience. We come for the contrast and comparison. We come for both. And I love the reconciliation, the harmony, the center. Come into the center of the relationships. I think you're in the right place. And I request a tenfold on your investment for all of us into this container, that it would be a tenfold your investment and at its original price, not at the Black Friday price, right? Let this open for everyone to their desired opening, and know that this can be done. This is the biggest thing, is allow, there's a little bit there potentially in the belief field that could be cleaned up. So just allowing whatever needs to be cleaned and reorganized to really be reorganized, so that you can have that clean center point, so that you can have that rest, relaxation, and you can have that robust business as well, right? That you have a healthy relationship with yourself beyond money, beyond mother, right? Coming back into the self and saying, I get to have both. I get to have both the money and I get to have the day off. I get to help generously, and I get to be paid generously as well. That's completely at your choice. And that you don't have to be governed by the world, that you get to have your grounding cord too. You get to be fully connected into the possibilities that are available to you, and you get to choose what that is, and that you get to choose to receive the experiences that you choose to receive, that you don't have to keep repeating the pattern of with or without, with or without. You don't have to play that game anymore, right? You are your own unique, authentic self, and you get to make your unique, authentic choice, free from anyone else, and really loving yourself. It feels like this is very much a self relationship, to really own that value of the self that will hold the worth, that says, I have lines, I have agreements, and some agreements will be free and some agreements will be fee, and that both are available to me. And
Yeah,
I get to
sorry. Yeah.
yes.
I feel like when I go into, okay, I'm doing an offering and I'm asking for a return, I start shaking inside, so that's what I need to figure out.
Yeah, so you need to go deep. This is why I bring the crystals in, because the crystals hold a really solid foundation for us, so that we can reorganize the nervous system. because that's what this is your body. There's not, it's very interesting. You go into the world of birth and, you know, helping so many births come into the world. I'm curious, there's a possibility that you have a birth trauma of your own and that you're really working to heal that with all of these births and that original birth bonding, right? It's safe for me to have money. As like Vika was saying, this is the first place we're going to go, and really opening your heart center to it's safe to have money, opening your gut to it's safe to have money. Like I can be nourished by money and that is safe. And I can tell you, my work is money autonomy, especially for females, because females are still, especially older females, are more connected into women weren't allowed to have money. Women weren't allowed to work with money. My mother couldn't get a credit card when I was born.
Wow.
You know, like the world didn't give to women financially the same way it did to men. So there is a big collective of females that we're reorganizing and saying, oh no, we get the same equal rights with money as every other human being on the planet.
So can I ask a question?
Yeah.
My mother was working 7 days a week, very successfully, making tons of money. It's like she had this abundance thing, and stress basically killed her. I mean, she became addicted to what was in those days, pills and alcohol, and she died of that. And so I'm thinking maybe because she was one of those women who dared get in the world and be so successful, but the levels of stress, that's part of the panic that I'm not going there.
Yes. So as the child witnessing that, you made some agreements with yourself in reference to the world and money. So that's where the relationship with self could be cleaned up.
Mm-hmm. Thank
right?
you.
To reorganize that. You don't have to go into the world of money the same way that she did.
Yeah.
That's the invitation to recognize that I can create my relationship with money the way that's gonna work best for me. I don't have to follow the pattern. Right. And the part of me that agreed so heavily that I've shut down the pattern of me receiving, well, that can get reorganized too. You can rewrite that agreement. Okay. The present time, the now time, has the greatest power of all time. So what you can agree to now can completely reorganize that pattern. Now, I'm going to tell you, you may have developed that in the 0 to 7 years where you were hardwiring your nervous system. So you're going to have to continually agree to the new agreement until your system has rewired it and fully accepted it. And you're going to know that by how you feel.
Thank you so much, Sonia. I hope you guys feeling the level of depth that we are working with. I really got chills when Sonia was speaking, and my invitation, Joelle, to you and to pretty much to everyone who is here, who is listening us live, who is going to be on the replay, this phrase that one just said, it is safe to hold money. It is safe to hold money. Once this is somatically experienced, once this is embodied, that's a new level of conversation. That's a very big opening just to have that. It feels so simple, but healing is not rocket science, right? It's not as complicated as we want it to be. It's our permission to heal into that. It's our permission to go through that. I hope this serves, Joelle. Thank you so much for bringing it up, for asking the question. Thank you so much, guys, for being with us for so long. We are going after, it's the third hour already, and we really appreciate your presence being here. We'll definitely take the questions, so don't worry. We'll take the ones who already raised their hands, and we're just acknowledging the time and giving awareness of where we're at right now, and sending gratitude. Really just sending, like feeling, experiencing, sending gratitude for your commitment to this work, really your desire and willingness to do what it takes to stop this so it doesn't go to the next generation. So our next generation doesn't have to inherit it, doesn't have to suffer from the same burdens. And to let you know that this ripples. What you do, the work that you do ripples through generation. This is how we shift the collective, one family at a time. It's so really, really deep. Thank you to you. Marine, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but please correct me. Awesome, thank you. I got that sign. I lived in Hawaii for a couple of years. I got that sign.
I'm grateful to be here today. I had an awareness last night because I was on the fence to coming here to being there on Sunday, and I had an awareness that this conversation we're having about money being coins or bills, right? Um, for me, I think I equate it with something being valuable, love, attention, receiving. I could connect with Caroline and Joelle and Katya around this that for me, I came from my birth mom, my adoptive parents. And with my birth mom, who I met later, I could do no wrong just by being. I was like on a golden chalice. And my adoptive mom, I couldn't seem to do anything right. So my quest in getting love, getting attention was conditional with her. So it wasn't necessarily money, but I'm making that connection now through these conversations that is still as valuable, and that attention, that love, that acceptance transferred into money that I've been struggling with and being able to receive because the conditions changed. Like I would meet their conditions or fit myself into that peg. The peg shape changed, or the conditions were like, yet now that has changed as well. So it was always like, some sort of fear or hesitation, confusion around what it takes to keep it. And then, being told I was selfish as a child because I got myself a candy bar when it was my brother and sister's birthday. It was like that still resonates with me. That you're selfish, you're always thinking about yourself. So, money goes out instead of taking care of me first. I've come a bit along the way, but this conversation today just sort of amplified, and I'm making connections through. It doesn't always have to be like, why can't I keep money? Why can't I receive a gift or love or, I'm proud of you or that's cool. I'm always sort of pushing that to the side, and I would like to also reconcile and change the conversation or change my limiting beliefs about that. And yeah, nothing's a one and done, but boy, it'd be a nice place to start, So thank you um, for even having like this part of the container and the conversation. I'm complete.
Thank you so much, Marine, and really deeply honoring you. And welcome to the container. I really want to say you did so right by coming in. There's special dynamic, and I'm not gonna go into too many details, but there's special dynamic with adopted children. And when this, as you mentioned, is my biological mom or my adopted mom, so there's a very specific order of how these two women are presented in your life and what can be done to bring the harmony into that order. Because the woman you were born from That's who you're receiving your feminine energy from. The adaptive parent is the helper of the family. And when adaptive parent denies or limits the role of biological mother, it creates all kind of disorders that are perceived by a child. And that would be amazing to actually step into family constellation with you and reorganize that in your subconscious. So the flow of love, the flow of not just accepted, not just being accepted through life, but being celebrated by life. Just feel into that. Being accepted as like, you are not perfect, but okay, I'm gonna take you. Well, it's okay. Versus being celebrated, being embraced by life. That's the level of abundance we are talking about, right? And now we're expanding it from just money to abundance of life force, abundance of having energy to dedicate to projects and people and events that you want. That's the true abundance that we are talking, that we are touching into. And we're going to go into more details, more feeling into that during the workshop and beyond, right? So whenever we meet you at the one-on-one, I would be honored to go into that territory with you. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Maureen. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to that small voice that said, let me check it out.
Yeah. Your whole ancestry is celebrating you for that. Really receive that. Thank you. And thank you for waiting so long. Thank you for staying with us. So happy to see you here. Welcome.
Hi, so good to see you, Vika. Good to meet you, Sonia. Yeah, so resonating with all of this and some new interesting ideas that are just really exploding creatively. I'm loving this new idea of the self and uh, the money and the community, the communal line, resonating with the reconciliation. Um, what's coming up for me right now is I read, Sonia, you're back to the Mayflower. My grandmother's line goes before that, when the folks from William Penn's lineage came over and landed in the 1600s in Brandywine territory in Pennsylvania, and that house is still there, the William Brinton House, 1604. And so a lot of lineage that involves um, leaving and leaving behind, choosing to leave wealth and abundance behind for new territories. And then there's also the Civil War that was a huge part of our family. My great uncle in that line was George Brinton McClellan, uh, general of the Union Army, who was also a Quaker, who was a pacifist, and Lincoln basically fired him because he wanted to be a peaceful warrior. These kinds of things are coming up through my mother's line, and I also want to be very conscious because I have a grandniece coming in January. So the communal thing where the Great Depression happened in our family, and so grandmother had to leave Philadelphia and travel to Tucson and then to San Diego. And then, although her father was able to provide for her and her children, her husband was not. And so my mother suffered that wound. And I'm beginning to have a much more comprehensive feel for what you were describing with the the mother and the father and the masculine and the feminine, all of those intricacies playing into the relationship with money. And so I guess I'm feeling that same word of reconciliation that feels very alive. And uh, it, it, it brings up a lot of how to exhale and inhale, how to receive and how to give. I'm even holding my breath now. How to receive and how to give, because I think that fear of losing it all in the Great Depression, you know, people lost it all. And I think there's that sort of systemic communal idea. And you also mentioned in this country anyway, we have a debt to a slave economy that is very much there. And I was born in Georgia to a mother who already had many children and many who had been lost before then. So I had a mammy who loved me and cared for me. And I don't often speak of that because it's hard to speak of that. But she loved me and I loved her, and we had another caregiver when we moved to New Jersey. And so there's a lot of greatness to the work you're doing here, and I'm just so grateful to be here with you and going on this journey, because it feels loving and kind and generous, not only to myself, but to the next generations that are coming. And I feel really grateful for that.
Breathing that in, breathing in that gratitude. And I just want to bring in a rooted reconciliation. If we could just entertain the idea of the rooted reconciliation. Just sense into what that could be for you. And that money could actually have a harmony flowing in it for you. You have your right rate rhythm, that it all gets to be so, and just really opening your body, your heart, your nervous system with that huge gratitude for this rooted reconciliation with money, for this healing, this clearing, this cleaning, and this expansion, right? A whole new world with money. And we are the ones. We are the ones bringing this forward. So thank you. Thank you. Each one of you is contributing to that.
Thank you so much. And then knowing the work you're doing, I just felt the heart in your words, that huge heart that you are sharing with it, and honoring, really celebrating the legacy that you are leaving for the generations after you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I think we covered most of it. We tried to set the limit with Sun. It's like it's going to be an hour, maybe an hour and a half. We're about 2.5, a little more than 2.5 hours right now, and you stayed with us. So much appreciate you for this. I hope this conversation served you. I know this conversation served your families as well on some level, the level we allow it to. So very much appreciate you. Very much looking forward to seeing you on Sunday. Help us spread the word. If that resonated with you, please share. It's gonna be on Facebook. We're gonna send you the recording of this. So we are doing on our end what we can to bring that healing into the world, and we appreciate you doing it with us.
Thank you. Thank you, one and all. I look forward to our future conversations, however that is. And yeah, Have a beautiful, happy Thanksgiving between here and there. And yes, again, share us out, share us far and wide. Let's change the world together.
Let's change
Really.
the world together. I love that. Let's do that. All right. Thank you, everyone. See you on Sunday. Or if not, we'll see you when you see you. Bye.